Welcome back, guys. It is Eric from the Ancient of Days YouTube channel, back from a very long hiatus, and all of these technical issues are surfacing, so I won't be on cam today, unfortunately. I really wanted to because there was a lot I wanted to get into, including all of this Russian nuke submarine craziness, and I don't want to offend anybody, but we're going to get into this on the Commander Lou YouTube channel tomorrow night. I do live stream with him on his channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to go to his channel, I'm right here on the community page on my channel, The Ancient of Days. Every Friday I go ahead and post the link right up on top. I'd also like to give a special shout out to a couple of brothers of mine that make custom music. Some of the music was just a clip of the music from Portal Complex and Jared Hanoi, both custom music artists, very talented. So I wanted to give them a shout out, and of course I have a backup channel and I'm on BitChute. All the links are in the description box. So we're not going to go ahead and talk about the Russian nuke subs, just the silliness of how people are really losing it over this EU-NATO-Ukraine war when you're watching nothing more than propaganda, and it's lowering your resonance and keeping you anchored here in the 3D physical when we should be ascending in peace into the 5D, where we will actually see our controllers, those entities that lurk in the shadows, and their strength is not to be seen. But once you raise in that resonance and that pineal, the first eye opens, that filter is removed, and the veil drops for you. So let's start off and get into this here, because this is what's most important. We're going to look at some great footage tonight. I'm going to give you also a teaser on the next video that's coming out that we're going to get into, because I captured some amazing things in my backyard. One night. It was a very powerful experience at that. But first, let's go ahead and listen to this about the 5G system, because if you guys are aware and you have 5G, my phone and my internet service is not any better than it was before. As a matter of fact, to be truly 100% honest, it is actually worse than it was when it was just 4G. I get cut out all the time. It's very slow. That just goes to prove that this really was just a control grid weapon system from the very start. Let's listen to this video here. It's on my backup channel called 60 gigahertz Purge Event. The truth hidden in plain sight. Alright, let's just listen real briefly to this, and then we're going to carry on with some stuff, as well as look at footage that I put all together for you guys of what we should be made aware about, because they are putting up this control grid weapon system. We should not be so concerned about the EU-NATO-Ukraine war and their submarines, their nuclear submarines off the east and west coast, because I'll tell you what, guys, this has been going on since the height of the Cold War. And if you think that the United States and NATO isn't pushing Russia to the edge with our stealth submarines and bombers and planes encroaching on their territory, then guess again, because we most certainly are. So this is just a cat and mouse game that's been going on since the 50s and 60s. All right, but we're going to talk about that on Commander Lou tomorrow night at 7:30. I hope to see you guys there. Again, the link will be in the community page on my channel, The Ancient of Days. Let's listen real briefly.
It is an extinction event brought into our homes, into our classrooms, onto the high street, into the very cells and DNA in our human bodies.
Okay, he said into our cells and DNA into our bodies. Now, back when this video was put together, they weren't aware of any mRNA or any pandemic of the sort. This was being spoken about before they actually had the actual knowledge of what came out a couple of years later. Now let's continue to listen for a few more minutes.
It is such a perilous threat that it is almost impossible to imagine, let alone describe. Millions of surface antennas will pick up that signaling and will then scatter the signaling into hundreds and hundreds of millions of different micro antenna systems set up on street lamps and even in your home, which you're not aware of incidentally. The LED light bulbs in your home invariably contain the micro or nanotech lens flare capacitors, which will receive the 5G signaling, and it will proliferate the 5G signaling everywhere by exploding the signal into billions of photons, which will target everything all at the same time. This is stealth technology. This is invisible science. But what it means in simple terms is that you will be flagged up, visible, trackable inside your own home. You will be flagged up, visible, trackable inside your own home. Anywhere you move on the surface of the earth, they will have a lock and load tracking capability over you. You will be visible to invisible masters, each one of us, all the time.
Okay, so did you hear that? Okay, now even the LED bulbs that aren't the energy saver bulbs, they're actually LED as well. I wonder myself if you can even buy those old school filament bulbs. Now let's get a look here at a video I did called AI Targeted Camera Surveillance. Very long-winded in this video, I understand. I could have probably made it a bit shorter. Insectoids, AI drones, jab testimony, and miracle. Alright, well what I want you guys to see here is this right here. Okay, this was actually a camera system that was being built. Probably most people didn't actually make it this far into the video, but what I do want you to see is we're just going to look at this for a brief moment. I want you to see how this actually opens. It's mechanical, and this was before they actually installed the camera device in front of it. So if you're interested, you could watch the entire video, but let's take a look at the 22-minute and 34-second mark. Okay, we see that? See how it's starting to open? Look at that right there where the cursor is circling. Okay, it's opening. It's mechanical. Alright, let me back that up a hair. Now I'm showing there with the cursor. I'm pointing out that, look at that, it just like kind of hangs down. Now watch, it's in slow motion here at probably 2.25%. Now you're going to start again to see it open. This is a mechanical, artificial intelligent device operated and run by the quantum computers through the targeted individual program. Okay, and we're going to get into some of that as well today, but not too much, just a little bit. See how that opened up? It was solid black, and now it opened. It's mechanical. Now we take a look here, because in this video here, troops at the door, AI holography and clandestine drone outpost exposed. Well, this was my backyard. Now this here is actually all just military camouflage netting as they were installing the technology in the trees. What we're looking at here is this plate. Now let's have a look and a listen.
As well, again, of course, we got this plate here in between two, so it's the second plate on the same tree system, as well as this is the second structure. So let's take a look around here, because if we have this plate up here, there's got to be more to it, but you could tell that they do have some of this stuff draped down that's supposed to be covering it up, okay, because that's camouflage rolls that they go ahead and just drape it out like blankets. That's how they do it.
Okay, the reason why I was showing you this here is because the new footage that we're going to look at today, okay, not on my property, several hundred yards down the road, I used my P900, I documented that the tree was lopped off, and you'll see something very similar to this. Now in this tree, in this instance, this is a holography plate. Okay, so if you watch the video, I get all into the AI holography and how it actually works. There's a projection from the front and a projection from the rear, giving it a 3D holographic projection, hiding what they don't want us to see with the naked eye, making it look like just trees and pine cones and needles, not the structures and the technology that's actually up there. Now let's get another look at the second plate that is in the tree and have a quick listen.
And here's that square plate used for holographic laser technology, in this case for cloaking.
Okay, so again, you could see here, this is a holography plate that's mounted roughly 150 feet up into the tall, I call them evergreen trees the whole time. My wife corrected me and said they were pines, not evergreens. So all the times that I said they were evergreens, they're actually very, very tall pines, over 200 feet tall. And they do all go into a point. But then what they do is they lop it off and then install the technology atop it, which is actually part of the control grid, the 5G grid, with information weapons as well as 60 gigahertz directed energy weapons. Let's move on to the next one. What I'm talking about, information weapons. This here's on my blog. All right, first off, we have the LED 30 street lamp, which is going to play to relevance here in one moment. But this here is an ionized cloud formation of ionized metals from the geoengineering program of barium, strontium, aluminum, even niobate. What they do is they ionize it with electromagnetic radiation, okay, EMF radiation. It then becomes a plasma, and up there are all of these micro drones that actually shoot these lasers. These are information weapons. These shoot into individual houses. So like you heard in the very beginning there right here on 60 gigahertz purge event, how he had talked about the LED bulbs, on how they are actually listening devices and how they scatter the 5G signal, because it actually picks up what you are thinking, what you're eating, what you are feeling, and where you are at all times within your own home. Okay, so this here shoots these lasers into individual homes. I even said it in the video. This is from the Cloaked Craft Laser Tech video. And in the very beginning of the video, when I had said that there's a laser pointer on my nose and on my cheek and all of that, well, I later learned that was actually from my phone, because my phone was constantly recording and pulsing an infrared light into my face. And you could find that actually on the video right here, radiation field test, signs, symptoms. This has barely started. Okay, I showed that infrared light that comes out of my phone that you can't see with the naked eye, but I was able to pick it up with a camera, and my ADT security system picked it up. And that's when I realized all those times I thought I had like maybe a laser sight on me, it was actually my phone just recording every move that I made, which is why it seems that this targeted individual program's always one step ahead of me. So here we have what's called free space optical communications lasers being broadcast from the plasma field here down into individual homes. It gathers all the information, every bit of information that you've said, that you have eaten, thought, talked to your friends, texted, anything that has a smart device and listening device, including your LED light bulbs. It gathers that information and draws it up to the cloud. This is the cloud. And then the cloud transfers this information back to the quantum computers at light speed and then collects that data. So right here, this would get into the LED 30 street lamp, and this is going to play to relevance, guys. Please stick with me, all right? Right here you see a directed energy beam being pulsed. Now these pulse with my meter, my EMF meter, at well over 1,000 milliwatts. And this here is either being shot from a fifth density beam that's just outside of our resonance and visual sight, or it's coming from a micro drone. Through my previous videos, I have proven this over and over and over again in actual video, where you see them pulsing in action live in video. So this is coming from the LED light. The reason why I'm showing you this is because one night I went out and I got lit up like a Christmas tree. Look at this, okay? When I came inside after doing some investigation work around my perimeter to my property, it felt like I had a bad sunburn on my head. Look at all these spots here, these red spots. And then when I went and looked in the mirror, I actually had blisters on my head. So I started putting hydrocortisone cream on it. This was the following day. You could still see the blisters. Okay, here it is again. This was from a directed energy weapon such as this right here. Not this one exactly, because these were completely different dates. But look at this, okay? That's the power of directed energy weapons, military grade. And there it is. This took about roughly, 4 days to completely heal. So that's why what we really should be concerned about is not the nuclear submarines that are off the coast, west coast, east coast, maybe floating around New York Harbor, who knows, right? But that's just to keep us in a low resonance vibration so that we stay anchored here and angry and don't start to raise in our bioresonance to avoid these attacks. When we are angry or we are in a low bioresonance, our DNA bioresonance, these frequency weapons have 100% effect and control over us. Because when we get into that low resonance vibration, these weapons right here, this is out in my backyard, alright? They developed a weapon system, what are called dielectric lenses, and they actually pulse 60 gigahertz military grade RF, which is radio frequency Wi-Fi technology. And it burns like a bastard. I'll promise you that. Just as you saw my head there previously, I blistered up. Now let's take a look at this. Live in action. This was 4:30 in the morning, captured with my camera. Out the window, you could see holographic lasers projecting across. This is a weapon system shooting at my house all day, every day, 24/7, okay? You'll even see where it shoots to the ground. This is very, very serious, guys. This is the control grid. This has nothing to do with faster internet connection or better Wi-Fi and better download speeds. This has everything to do with eugenics, okay? Right to the ground, all right? And this is from the Tartaria Millennial Reign of Christ, largest weapons deployment in U.S. history. So that's that. Again, look at this, guys, okay? From these directed energy beams that were pulsing all over the place while I was outside doing investigation work. Well, it wasn't on this night, but it was another night. You could actually still see the blisters the next day after I applied hydrocortisone cream multiple times to my head. Okay? Very dangerous and very serious technology. Now, right here is what we're going to start getting into before we get into this footage here, which I'm going to do in my next video, okay? This is unbelievable stuff. But let's get a look at this, okay? First, what I want you to notice right here, this tree, okay? See how this is a full pine tree, I guess, now that I've been corrected? And also notice the moon is in front of the clouds. This is not enhanced in any way whatsoever. This is the original footage. Okay, it didn't look like this to the naked eye, but this is what it looked like to the camera. And that's how we know that we are within Project Bluebeam, in addition to all the work that I've done. And I was documenting all of these winged entities, whether they were drones or actual ethereal, fifth density astral plane beings, demonic at that, flying across the sky. This is the end of the age. The pit veil is pierced. Black matter hatching. Okay, a lot of technical issues with this video. It took me all day to put out a 38-minute video. So let's just look at this here, this tree here, okay? And notice this tree here, because I'm about to show you what it looks like now. And I also want you to notice, look at all these things whipping by. Those black matter entities. You see them just whipping by? As well as this tree is not cut. Absolutely incredible. And of course, this is what's called a lunar simulator. Either a reflection or it's actually a simulated celestial object. You see those black objects, those black entities whipping all across the sky. And again, this is not enhanced even in the slightest. See that tree there? Not cut whatsoever. Let's pause that and take a look at this. Okay, this was taken today. Alright? This is the tree now. It no longer has the peak. It's been cut. Of course, it's winter now, so all the leaves are off, but that was that big tree that you just saw right there. Again, look at this. Okay, we'll play it. Did a quick little recording on it. This is at 0.25% speed. This was done exactly tonight, or earlier in the evening before the sun went down. You could see it's been lopped off, and of course there's no leaves on the tree. So if we go back just a little bit here and take another look, this tree here, okay, it's now like this. Look at the difference, okay? This top piece is gone. On this one, see, there it is. It's gone. The top part, the point to this is gone. One more time. Here it is. There's the big tree on the side. And then we go back. Here it is. Full, not cut, with the big tree on the side. And of course the lunar sim in front of the clouds. The tree's been cut since then. Then what happened? Okay, right here is where we're going to get into it. You saw that cut tree. Now this is it right here. I'm going to play the video clip and then we're going to look at some stills. I'm going to hit pause for a second. Now I want you to notice here, okay, you got this piece here that looks like a hexagon. Now all the technology that they use in the trees, like you saw earlier in the vid, those plates that were in the tree, the holography plates, they are very translucent and they are almost in the exact same color as the trees that they are mounting them on, so it's very hard to find. So I was using my P900. This is a few hundred yards down the road from my house. You can see right here a plate. This is all technology. Okay, let's continue to watch. And I'm going to stop it right there. Now these things draping down right here, these are actually part of a weapon system. So this here is some sort of receiver. It could be a phased array antenna that they use in the LED lights that actually render a 3D image of the surrounding area, even into people's houses, so that they know where you are at all time. Now in my case, as a targeted individual, if this piece here goes ahead and target acquires me, this right here, let's see if we can find a better spot, right there, okay? If this target acquires me, then what happens is these pieces here will begin to fire directed energy beams at me. So this will find me and target acquire me, and then I will get directed energy beams shot at me. Let's continue to watch. Don't worry, we got more to look at. Whoa, look at that right there. Look at that. We got it. Okay, sorry about that. I was holding my P900, and you know, it's hard when you're trying to focus on something far away and with shaky hands like I do, of course. But here we go. Let's continue to watch. This is that tree that was lopped off. There's no more top to it. But here's the technology that's mounted in the tree. Okay, so here's the tree now. This is what it looks like since it's been cut off, as I showed you earlier. But now we got it's brighter and it's a little more close, so you can see what it looks like. Of course, the top that was like this before, okay, that was like that in the previous vid clip, completely gone, right? Now let's continue to watch. We're going to look at some still images here. Now you can see as we start to get in closer, you got this piece here, you got this piece here, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are directed energy weapons is what they are. They actually pulse 60 gigahertz radio frequency beams, and even here, look at this. This piece here looks like a 6-sided hexagon. This piece here, same thing, 6-sided hexagon. There's a lot of technology in this one section alone. Even this here is all technology along with this down here. Let's continue to look. Okay, now we change the contrast and the color a little bit so it brings it out. Here you can see it even has anchors coming down, right? There's the anchor there. This is what looks like to be a phased array antenna that is used to track your every move and identify who you are, to target acquire anybody that is in the quantum computers as a potential enemy of the state, if you will. even though I have no problem with anybody. I just happen to be on the bad side of a targeted individual program. Okay, so this of course here is technology. Even this here is as well. And the directed energy beam weapons are down below that we can't see. Let's continue to look. Okay, right here a little further back, same thing. Right here you can see that's where they will fire those directed energy beams from. All this is technology. It goes from under here, comes up. You can see the anchors. Pretty amazing stuff. People don't notice it. Here it is again with high contrast. You can see how this comes down. It actually even looks like it goes up and around all the way like this, like a circle. Okay, from here to here, down here. And then of course you got this. Look at this piece here, this rectangle piece here, hexagon piece there. A lot of technology going on right here, guys. Okay, now we got a nice close-up of it. Very defined anchors holding it down. Okay, this is the directed energy dielectric lenses right there. You even have one right there. You can tell, look at this. That is not a natural part of the tree by any means. And as you can see here, it goes up and down and around all the way to here. Okay, so I get target acquired, even though it's a couple hundred yards down the road from me. These beams still reach me, and that's because the nanoparticulates that float through the air act as a conductor for the radio frequency beams. Now I want to show you a couple of pictures. All right, right here you can see same thing. Increase it a little bit. There's that phased array antenna. And then we can take another look at this one here. Maybe increase the contrast a little more. Find a filter. That one doesn't look too good. Okay, clear as can be. I see how it goes from here all the way around up to there. Okay, and this here, it's getting blurred out, but that's a hexagon piece of technology, as well as all this is technology too. Okay, last one, we only got 3. Okay, this is in a different scale, more of a black and white type scale with a little less color. And of course I'm colorblind, so it really doesn't matter to me, but I could see it clear as day. There's the phased array antenna for target acquired system. Let's change a couple filters, go back to the original. You could still see it. All this is technology. Even when we go into a black and white scale, you could see it. Okay, look at that. Technology in the trees. This is unbelievable. This is the 5G grid that we've been warned about for so many years. This was the tree that was lopped off. Then when we go back to this here again, you could see that the tree is absolutely full compared to right here. Again, back and forth. Cut, not cut. Cut, not cut. All right, pretty amazing stuff. Now let's take a look at this, because this is freaking wild. Okay, this is going to be the next video we're going to dissect. And there was all sorts of humanoids that actually shapeshift. We got it on 50% speed, and this was on 11/19/2022. It's on half speed. I want you to take a look. You're going to see, okay, this looks like a tree. Look at what just walked out from there. Okay, I'm going to back that up. Watch right here. Okay, something walked clean out of there. And now what I'm focusing on is this guy right here. Okay, do you see that guy right there? That's squatting down. And when I do this video and I publish this video tomorrow, you're gonna see some amazing captures. Okay, there was so many beings out there that night. I was absolutely floored when I saw it. Okay, this guy looks like somebody who's like squatting down. Well, let's watch what he does here, because right now it looks just like maybe a man squatting down, right? And then whatever this was just like walked out from the tree and is standing there. Let's watch and look. Okay, keep an eye right here where I'm circling. He is going to leap up and become like part of the tree. It's unbelievable. And this is those same beings, just like in that tree creature video, that shapeshift, and they crawl and scale upside down on the branches. I've never seen anything like it. They are definitely not human. Could they be some sort of EMF, microwave radiation, projection, to make me think I am actually seeing these beings? Well, I don't really feel it. Look at it go. Now it's climbing up. Boom. Now it's completely off the ground and hanging. It's hanging from the tree. Look at it. Now that it's not crouched at all. I'm going to back that up a little bit. Okay. Look at it's crouched. It's in a crouched position. It almost looks like it's kneeling with like 1 foot there, 1 foot there, kind of like in a kneeling position. And you can see through the legs. It's even blocking part of the car. It's looks like it's making contact with the branches right there. Now this video, guys, I'm going to actually dissect this and play this for you guys tomorrow. It's going to be really fun. Now watch as he starts to shapeshift and become part of the tree. There he goes. See? Now he's up off the ground. There's nothing on the ground there. He's actually hanging from the tree. And the thing that walked away from this tree over here, you could see movement right here. You could see movement. And this guy here, he's just hanging. He's chilling. Trying to masquerade as part of the tree, even though I had already documented it in a seated position. I was floored when I saw this, so I was just focusing on it and focusing on it. You could see how much of the video is left. It's only at, what, 2 minutes 11 seconds? It goes all the way up to 4 minutes. I was focusing on it the entire time. It never moves. But there's many other entities out here that we are going to have a look at in the next video, guys. So I want to say thank you for coming by for the channel relaunch. All right. Again, right here, my head got burnt and cooked from one of these directed energy beams. And just like here from Tartaria, the Millennial Reign of Christ, it shows the weapon system in the backyard that pulses those 60 gigahertz frequency weapons that are all mounted throughout the trees, including the tree that is actually right here. This tree right here. Okay? They're mounted on this as well. Okay? Tree in full position with the top on it. Right here. See? Full tree. And then what they did is they lopped it off. And then once they lopped it off, they went ahead and installed technology into that tree structure. And these are all over the place up here. It's not just my road or anything. My wife and I were looking around as we were driving, and we're like, oh my gosh, there's another tree that's lopped off. Okay, look at this. Absolutely staggering, okay, that this is happening all around us, and people do not even recognize it. All right, guys, much love from my family to yours. I look forward to seeing you again real soon. I'm so happy to be back. And once I get the lighting situated, my camera straightened out, and you're going to see a video coming up pretty much every day. Again, tomorrow night at 7:30, we're going to be on Commander Lou's channel. If you want to go to the community page, I always put Friday Night Live at 7:30 on the stream that we're about to do. We have a lot of fun there, great fellowship, but we talk about serious topics. And tomorrow we're going to get into also the Russian subs, the nuke subs, and the nuclear threat that people are so concerned about and losing sleep over. And I hope that after we do this stream, it'll put a lot of your guys' minds at ease. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day,